Hey guys, how you doing? In this episode, we're going to take a look at our American Bosch Magneto Model 28 radio. I think it was called Essex. And I'm going to show you what I've done in it, what I've worked on so far. And we're going to be ripping apart a coil. I've never done that before. That'll be fun. And you'll see what that's all about. So if you're interested, enjoy. And we've got a little bit of an advertisement in this one too, so stick around for that. All right, guys, here we go. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. It's been a while since we did a full-length video on this American Bosch Model 28. We're almost ready to power it up and give it a shot. We've got a few things left to do, but I want to walk through what I've done so far. If you've seen the shorts videos, you'll know that I've removed all this out, cleaned it, oiled it, lubed it. I've cleaned most of this. I still need to do a little more cleaning on this phenolic material. I have everything wired except for the volume control, and there's a piece here that I'm going to have to deal with. This is a pretty ingenious antenna trimmer, but you'll see that the wire is broken. So in order to resolve that, I think what I'm going to do, let's see if we can get some light here and show you. This center is soldered to these pins. So I'm going to gently remove the solder. This ring should come out. I'm going to rewind it. Like that, see it? I'm going to rewind it and then put it back in. I've got nothing to lose. And if I screw it up, I have another one of these on my other unit, the rusty unit, that I could use. But we'll get to that later. So let's take a look on the bottom side of what we've done, and I'll just walk you through that. And I don't want to scratch this dial up, so I'll just put this cloth here. Alright, so first of all, you'll notice that we've rewired the harness, so that's great. You see that we've replaced the capacitors. I elected not to open up these sardine cans. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave them as they are, and I've got these just tacked in. There were already solder connections on top of these cans from the original. That's where they were grounded. So I've simply just reattached these, and we're good to go. You'll see here we've cleaned up our copper coil covers, and we've done some minimal rewiring under here, but everything is pretty intact. I haven't tested this out yet. We'll get there, but for the most part it's complete, and we just need to get a few more things going here. So what's the next plan? Well, the next plan is to see what we got to do with this. So let me get that set up, and I'll take you along for the ride. I'm sure no one has ever seen anybody work on one of these on YouTube. So let's get that set up. Before we dive into that antenna trimmer, I want to talk about what our next project's going to be really quickly. This is a silver tone model 6293, which is a 6-volt automobile radio from 1949/1950. This came from our good friend John from Arkansas. And just like we did with the Thunderbird AM 8-track radio, John asked me if I'd be willing to restore it. Of course I am. And when we're done with it, we're going to sell it on eBay for charity for St. Jude. So we've got a lot of work in front of us on this thing. It's a 6-volt unit, excuse me. And you'll see it has a vibrator in it. That's how you get your current. We'll talk more about that when we start working on it. But the tube lineup, let's see what we have in here. The tube lineup appears to be a 6X5 GT, 6V6, 6SQ7, 6SK7, 6SA7, and a 6XK7 again. So typical radio. It's not an all-American 5, but it's close. So we're going to work on it. It has a built-in speaker right here, you can see. And it has a pretty cool dial. Actually, the radio hangs upside down. There's the dial. Okay, we're gonna have to work on the dial string. I know old 64 Goat will love that, right, Bill? So we're gonna play with this thing too. So we've got some fun ahead of us here. So that's the story, guys. So let's get back to our American Bosch radio. But you're gonna see this one coming up as well. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I'm going to take you along for the ride on this. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to even try to get this out, but I'll at least show you the start of it, and we'll see if we have any luck, if it works even the way I think it will. So we've got some solder wick. Got our iron heated up. I may need to use a larger tip on this thing. We'll find out. Let's see if we can get some of the solder off here. I think I probably have to use a little bit more beefier tip on this thing. I did get something off here. Let's see if it melts. Yeah, it's melting all right. Looks like it's going to work. So let me continue working on this and I'll bring you back when I've got some progress. Yeah, well, we got it apart. I have some good news and bad news. So good news is it's really not complicated to wind this thing. I have the wire, so I should have no problem doing that. Just need to clean up a little bit here with the solder. Should be a piece of cake. Not a big deal. Bad news is when I took it apart, I broke a few wires on the main coil, which is not a big deal because I actually see the ends here, so I can repair it. See if we can zoom in on that one a little bit. So you see those two wires there on the bottom? Right there? Well, they go up to those two wires on top. So we'll do that repair. Not a big deal. I expected I was going to break some wires on this thing. I'm actually surprised I didn't break more, but that's something we can easily fix. And the way this thing worked is this pin goes through this entire assembly like this, and basically it solders to those connection points. And there's a pin here, a cotter pin, that I had to drill out. It's right here, and it serves two purposes. It stops this from pulling out, and it also engages with these stops to prevent you from turning it continuously. So it's boom, side to side. So we'll replace that as well once we get this all cleaned up and smoothed out. But for now, we're going to have to rewind this thing. I'm not exactly sure of the gauge, but it doesn't really matter. I have a good pattern of what I need to do, which is good. I can see exactly how I have to wind it. And what's the worst that can happen, right? It's an antenna trimmer, I think. It doesn't really tell you what it is. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to wind it like this. I'm trying to find where, okay, it actually branches over to this side. And the connection points are right here on these tabs on the inside. Right there. Okay. So one comes in from this side, one comes in from the back. So we'll have some fun with that. I've never rewound before. And that's going to be the plan on that. Matter of fact, let me just take all this off now, so you can watch and cringe. Remember, I'm only being brave because I have another one of these. But I don't think I'm going to need it. This is very fine wire. If I'm able to get it off in one piece, I can approximate how much wire I need. Okay, that's one side. Here's the other side. That piece just broke off, so we're not going to get a continuous piece on this one. That's okay. So that's our plan, guys. Does that actually go across there? I think it does. So it's one continuous piece of wire. Anyway, that's going to be our plan. We will rewind this and see if we can get it working. I also will measure the other one. I don't know what it's supposed to measure, but luckily I can do that and having something to compare to. So here it is. It's stripped. We've got one wire going in here and one wire going in here. So we'll see how that plays out. And then, as we've stated, we'll repair this one and fix it. So I'm going to work on that off camera, and once we have that done, I'll come back and share the update with you and let you know how we did. And then we're going to do a fire up of the radio. So I'll keep this one short for today. So hope you enjoyed that. A little boring, but it's something interesting. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.